Hi, welcome to Startup with Krupp. This will be until I actually figure out what this podcast is, this will be an anytime, anywhere kind of podcast. This will be a podcast where we talk about a lot of things. We talk about random issues, we talk about sports, talk about weird things that have happened during the week, talking about past experiences, talking about dislikes and what I like. Talk about politics sometimes. Try not to talk about a ton, but most weeks we'll have a guest come on, probably a friend, and we'll kind of just talk, and it'll be entertaining. I promise you. And this week won't be a full podcast. A full podcast will probably be 30 to an hour, 30 minutes to an hour. Normal podcast kind of length. But this week it's will be a shorter episode, kind of a snippet, just to kind of test the waters, figure out what I could do with this podcast until I get a guest to come on. Since this is the first week, probably next week I'll have a guest. But this week we'll be talking about Craigslist. I know, Craigslist. Something you haven't heard. Probably never used it because nobody really uses it, Craigslist, anymore. But the misconnection section on Craigslist, I think, is a very valuable resource to a lot of people. So I'm going to read one off that I found really spicy. So the title of it is Surprise, You're Weird and I Like It. You came with a friend and a friend. Off to a great start, doesn't know how to use English. One friend was already a member, and the other one joined. You said you would. I don't know if I'll ever see you again. I don't know what it would be like if I did. But in the interest of sharing the energy absorbed, spicy, I put this post out into the world. I didn't notice you at first, in a way that would have made me feel the way I did once I left. We had been in the same room for almost 4 hours, and it wasn't until the last hour I felt so warm. Okay, how are you in the same room with somebody and not, feel anything until, the last hour? That doesn't make any sense. Maybe I would have been so lonely too long, or maybe you just said all the right things about me without even realizing it, as I captured one of each other like the little soap bubbles floating in the air before my eyes. Okay, so what kind of club is this? You say you're a member in this soap bubbles. It's kind of a weird club. I don't know what this is. You won the prize while thinking it over, thinking it would never happen. This guy has no proper English. I have to autocorrect everything in here. You made me laugh, and it felt like a cat had my tongue. And I spent more time talking to your friend when excuse me, when I should have the courage to talk to you. So obviously this person's a little weird. This a little bit more. I gotta scroll. This person a little weird. I only know your first name as a letter, and that's okay. He put that in all caps. Why would you put that in all caps? If we were ever to see each other again, and things are to be, then I look forward to my face hurting from smiling so much. Cheers to having a heart, flirting, and butterflies in my stomach moment. Thank you, D. Okay, so obviously the person's name is not D. Let's just start that out. And that's very clear that this person's name is not D. It probably doesn't even start with D. I think they're probably using D as an innuendo, probably. Member of what kind of club is this? That's what I want to know. Talk about already be a member, and they talk about bubbles. Bubble blowing club? I don't know. I don't really think they had those. I only thought they had SpongeBob or something. It was very interesting though, because I feel like a lot of people come on misconnections and really vent their feelings. I remember when I was looking through this, somebody was looking for somebody that humiliated him at a local Home Depot, and the woman I guess was in her 70s and he was in his 30s, and he said that he wanted to date her. I was sitting there thinking, okay, you want to date someone 40 years older than you? That also embarrassed you at Home Depot? That's kind of crazy. I mean, just to be honest, I don't think I would be going for that kind of person. They embarrassed me, and they're 70 years old. That's 40 years older than me. That's crazy. Some other things we're going to talk about in this podcast, not today, but more other podcasts. School stories. I'm currently in school still. Funny news stories, so we'll talk about the news a lot. Like R. Kelly this week, he said he had panic attacks from documentary Surviving R. Kelly, which he is accused of raping and molesting and also urinating on women. And I think it's kind of funny that he's having panic attacks now. I think we should play the world's smallest violin for him on that. Um, Things to do when you're bored. Let's kind of give you advice. Send in your questions, we'll give you advice. Uh, and we'll talk about what kind of grinds your gears. Like, one of my biggest grind of gears is a lot of people like the TV show, The Office. I think it's not that good of a show. I think it's a little bit overrated. But I mean, that's a personal opinion, and I think that a lot of people can enjoy whatever show they would like. Another thing that grinds my gears is daylight savings time. I mean, I'd rather have an hour before, like, before I get out of school than have an hour after. It's personal opinion. So, this has been Step Up Krupp. This is the first episode. If you would like to join me on Step Up with Krupp, let me know. Send me a personal DM, send me a Snapchat, send me on whatever social media you're on, or a text. It's been a great knowing you guys. See you next week.